So there was something fishy about your talk this afternoon. What was it?
Well, so we were talking today about fish, about sustainable seafood, and we were talking specifically about farmed fish. So my name's Matt Abbott, and I'm from Fundy Baykeeper with the Conservation Council of New Brunswick, and I work in the outer bay of Fundy, where there's some of the densest siting of salmon farms in the world. And I was really just going over the impact of salmon farms on our coastal waters. So I looked at a few things, specifically nutrient pollution and how that harms habitat.
So how bad is the whole picture?
Well, we have very dense salmon farming. It's some years are worse than others, and we have seen impact from a variety of sources in our region, and we see some from nutrient pollution. Also, we have parasites and disease that proliferate on open net pen salmon farms. Both those parasites and disease can spread to wild fish in the outer bay of Fundy. Our fish are already in a really bad spot, so that added threat is really very concerning. And
well, let me ask you this: why is it so much of a threat? What's so threatening about it? So a few fish or whatever, how does it make an impact on the bigger picture for those that don't know?
Well, the wild fish are already endangered, and so adding a threat from extra parasites, disease, loss of habitat, and interbreeding from escaped fish puts a great deal more stress on these sensitive species that are already in a rough spot.
Gotcha.
And I also spoke about concerns with the development of genetically modified salmon.
Well, that's a hot subject. That's pretty fishy.
It's pretty fishy stuff. And so we're really concerned that genetically modified salmon could be approved for human consumption in the US pretty much at any point. And it's currently being developed on PEI. The eggs are being produced there, and there's some risk the Environment Canada may approve it for commercial production. However, the problems I've raised with salmon farms aren't the only way you can produce fish. And it was really great to have Shawn on the panel as well, because he was able to talk about how he grows fish in a way that doesn't have a lot of the problems we're seeing in the outer bay of Fundy. So I think we should hear from Shawn.
Shawn, so how do you do your fishing different from others?
Well, I own a little fish hatchery about 2 hours north of Toronto, Colpore Springs Fish Hatchery, and we are an inland aquaculture facility.
So you're in Toronto, and Matthew is from?
New Brunswick.
Okay.
And we raise fish in a more naturally sustainable manner. What I mean by that, without knowing any fancy definitions or whatever of either of the two words as they're used in the market, we look after both the inputs and the outputs of our fish with an effort to having zero impact on the environment and the surroundings. So the fish, we look after what we feed our fish, a combination of a natural diet, and what we do with the fish excrement. We pump it out and we recirculate it into the organic food market.
How long have you been doing that?
I'm into my third year.
And where's the market?
The market is ostensibly in Toronto in the finer white table restaurants.
Yes, I would think so.
Great store, Big Carrot in Toronto as well. And Roe Farms is another little shop of butchery shops that supports our fish. And then we're in I'd say about a dozen of the great restaurants in downtown Toronto. Four Seasons, Royal York Hotel as well.
Okay. Now, Kelly over here, you're with Sea Choice, right?
And Living Ocean Society.
Yeah, what's that about?
Living Ocean Society is Canada's largest non-profit working solely on marine conservation issues. We're based in Scientilla, BC. It's a small little fishing community north of Vancouver Island. I'm based in Vancouver. And there's two programs that I do as Sustainable Seafood Campaign Manager. And Sea Choice is one of them, which is a sustainable seafood program across Canada where we do the wallet guides and we work with businesses and helping them to choose the best choices they can make for the health of the oceans. And then the other program I work for is the Coastal Alliance for Aquaculture Reform. So really pushing and promoting a more sustainable farmed salmon aquaculture industry.
Okay. Let me wrap this up by suggesting, one, powerful tidbit of information you can give us to make the whole fishery industry, less fishing, more sustainable. Can we start with you, Kelly?
Yeah, I would just touch base on the organic standard that is currently moving forward as well. And as we just heard from Shawn and from Matt, farming isn't equal. It depends on the practices and the methods involved with the farms, but the objective of the new organic aquaculture standard is to certify all type of production types, whether it is the industrial scale net pen farm salmon or if it is like Shawn's small rainbow trout farm. And I would say that we need to be looking for sustainable seafood options because there's a lot of green labeling or organic labeling that might come out that now puts Shawn's product next to an unsustainable product with the same label.
Okay, before we get to Shawn's product, what's your website, Kelly?
livingoceans.org.
Thank you. So Matthew, your product, give me some tidbits on making it more sustainable, or what we should know as consumers.
Sure. So
from your point of view,
I would just like to emphasize that growing fish isn't the problem here. Growing fish, producing fish through culture techniques like Shawn's, and there's other ways to do it as well, can be a really good means of meeting our food needs, but that sort of industrial feedlot style open net pen aquaculture, as we're currently seeing on both coasts of Canada, is not the way to go. And so I would just really emphasize that there is a future for aquaculture in our food production, but that we need to find the right way to do it, and we need to not put all our energy into trying to pretend something that isn't sustainable is sustainable. We need to really innovate the sustainable options, and our website is conservationcouncil.ca.
So I'm sure we can find more tidbits on that.
Yes.
Excellent. Shawn, 2 hours north of Toronto. You're getting me hungry to go and get a taste of that. Give me some tidbits that consumers should know, either in the hospitality industry or as consumers, and how can they identify that your fish is on their table at the restaurant? If possible.
Geez, tidbits. One of the great things about being 2 hours away from my market, it's arguably the freshest fish you'll be able to eat, period. The nearest oceans to us are either on the west coast or the east coast.
Right.
So that takes not only a carbon print that everybody's quite rightly worried about, but also just a distance of travel. So into the Toronto market, I arguably have the freshest fish that you can eat. So that's really important, right? We raise them in a conscientious way. We feed them a decent diet that is free of a lot of the elements that are going to be omitted or not allowed to be used in the new organic standard. We just did that because we thought it was right. We were sort of contouring our efforts to the organic standard. ColaporSprings.com is the website, and that's about it.
Can we go there and buy them fresh?
No, you have to get them through the grocery stores or so forth. Yeah, we're not really set up as a farm gate situation.
Are you intending to expand to cater to consumers eventually?
Well, we're into grocery stores, so that's where the consumers can
Where
get
can
our
we get
products.
these?
At the Big Carrot the Big Carrot in downtown Toronto, as well as Row Farms throughout Toronto. Sweet Potato as well in Toronto is another little interesting grocery store. And that would be it right now.
For now.
Foodland and Thornbury as well.
Excellent.
So, very good.
Excellent. Okay, well,
Thank you.
not that fishy after all, but thank you. I can swim in that.